So what I'm seeing is you are the Empress. You are this powerful, loving, kind, nurturing, mature person. You've really been stabbed in the back, stabbed in the heart. Someone's treated you like garbage. Somebody has really, with the Seven of Swords, this is like a sneaky, deceptive person in your life. They thought that they were better than you. This is about manipulation. They manipulated you to be there for them in certain ways because you have a hell of a lot to offer. You're very stable. You're very strong with the Empress here. So they manipulated you through deception in some sort of ways to get you to be there for them, to provide for them in certain ways. But secretly, I feel as though a lot of underhanded things were going on by this person. They were laughing at you, thinking that you were naive. So they were laughing at you as they used and abused you, but they would have been gaslighting you and making out that they're your best friend, or they're someone who genuinely loves you, or they have your highest good in mind, but they were the total opposite. This is very much a betrayal energy. So you were giving your time, your energy, your loyalty, and they took that all for granted. Dear soul, welcome to Twinflame Tarot Psychic. My name is Leo. Let's go deeper into today's reading. I feel as though they made all kinds of different assumptions about you. They assumed you were naive. They assumed you were weak. They may have assumed you were desperate, but they were totally wrong about you because this is all about your transformation. Here we have the Chariot and the Strength as well. So this person, I see them as being so greedy that all that they cared about was surface level things. This is someone who cannot see beyond surface level. They're a very shallow person, so they were really enjoying the comforts of what you were providing and what you were doing for them. They wanted you running around after them. They wanted your money, perhaps, in some cases your company, your validation. They wanted you to be a scapegoat. They wanted someone who they could smear your name to others or gossip about you to make themselves look better or feel better about themselves. Maybe you elevated their social image in some sort of way. They wanted to make themselves look better. They took pleasure at your misery, at all the misery that they were inflicting upon you. Or in some cases, this sneaky behavior was them laughing and gossiping behind your back, being very two-faced. But I see you moving forwards with the Chariot. This is your balance. I mean, you are the Empress. You're mature, you're balanced, you're stable. This is a lot of self-love, but they totally misunderstood who you are. They totally made all kinds of assumptions about you. So they thought that you would be crushed. I see you moving on from the situation, or you've already moved on. So this could be they left you or you left them. Either way around, they thought you would be crushed either by them leaving you, because they thought you would be heartbroken. Or if you left them, I feel this gossip or a smear campaign may have become very severe. So they assumed that you would be crushed by that smear campaign, how they were trying to destroy your reputation because you had the audacity, quote unquote, to leave them. So they treated you really, really badly, I feel, as you're moving forwards from them with the Ten of Swords. And they totally thought you would be crushed, you would crumble, and you may have really shocked others as well. Your reaction to their absence was totally opposite of what they were expecting. You started thriving in their absence. Again, this is your confidence returning. This is balance, stability, moving forwards. You're unstoppable. You're the Strength card. You're still so loving. Look how there's the bear and the two baby bears here. You're still so loving, kind, nurturing. They couldn't destroy your self-esteem. They totally thought that they would take so much pleasure in destroying your self-esteem, but you're the Empress. You have a lot of self-love. You know who you are. They just took one look at you. Perhaps the real you is somewhat revealed or hidden away. Perhaps you keep yourself to yourself. But there's definitely this element of they took one look at you and thought that they knew you inside out. They'd assumed from how you looked on the surface that, like I said, you would be naive, you would be weak, you'd be easy to crush your self-esteem. But they were totally wrong. You're thriving in their absence. They couldn't affect how you see yourself. Maybe they did temporarily. Maybe they caught you off guard because they were wearing a mask. But in the long run, you're not hurting. You're becoming happier. You're becoming stronger. you're becoming more confident. So they couldn't affect you emotionally in all the ways that they totally expected that they would be able to. In some cases, this betrayal energy was them really trying harder and harder to hurt you. They were really needing your reaction, because you are, I'm hearing, the anomaly. I feel as though they get under people's skin quite easily. But with you, it was a totally different story. I see you as remaining stoic, resilient, balanced, and they tried harder and harder to hurt you. They may have tried to put you through hell, or they did put you through hell and back. But the tables have turned. They've just exposed how pathetic they are, how weak they are. The whole time they were needing your energy. This is why they try to get you to react all the time, but you stopped reacting. The tables have completely turned, and suddenly you were the one with all of the power with the strength card. Because you took your power back. Their mask slipped too many times, and they thought that you were desperate, that you would just stay with them regardless of you seeing the truth of who they really are. But you have so much self-love and self-confidence that you know that you deserve so much better, and you see this person as the fool. I'm seeing that a lot of people who have seen what's happened here are seeing this person as a complete fool, because they thought they're like rubbing their hands together thinking they were getting all kinds of things from you. But like I said, they were just getting external surface level things. Yes, you were giving them a lot of love and kindness and loyalty and all those really good things, but all they could see, all that they cared about, all they could think about was the surface level stuff. And this is why everybody's seen them as the fool, because they had so much, you were providing so much. They had a gold mine, not just the finances in some cases or the surface level stuff. They had a gold mine in terms of you being so loving, kind, nurturing. You did a lot for this person. You created stability for them, and they totally took that all for granted. They're so blinded by surface level stuff that they couldn't even see what was right under their nose. They couldn't appreciate what was right under their nose. So everybody's seeing this person as a complete fool. You are blossoming. You are so resilient. And your increasing confidence meant you are coming out of your shell, or the real you is being seen very powerfully. You're really loving yourself. You're not taking this personally. This person, they really thought you would take it to heart. You would take it personally. It would crumble all of your self-esteem. That's what they wanted. They saw you as the Empress. They saw you as the strength, and they wanted to crush this, but they had the audacity, they had the arrogance to believe that they had the power to actually do that when they don't. So people, they're seeing a whole side of you, like the real you that they totally overlooked, and they're completely floored by it. They're completely shocked. And like I said, other people could be seeing the real you shining, blossoming, coming out of your shell, seeing that you're strong, stoic, mature. People are seeing your worth, and I'm seeing a lot of people are smiling, and they're happy, and they're glad that this person has been exposed through your light, through you simply coming into your personal empowerment, being your true self, maybe speaking the truth of what you've been through. People are smiling. They're glad that this person, this manipulator, has been completely exposed. Your enemy is completely floored. They didn't see this coming to discover who you really are. They're realizing they were foolish to completely just make assumptions about you and then totally interact with you and do all of these things thinking that you were some sort of fool. They thought you were some sort of fool, but them thinking that is only highlighted how much of a fool they are. So let's look at some more cards. We have a couple coming out here. We have the Four of Pentacles. I manage my resources wisely, ensuring prosperity. So for some of you, there could have been some sort of financial abuse, or they were borrowing, in quotation marks, money from you, with no intention of paying any of it back, no ability to pay it back. They were dependent upon you. And deep down, I'm hearing from Spirit, they were fearful of you realizing their true self, their true colors. And because they were so dependent upon you, they needed you. They tried to make it so that you believed that you needed them. Or they tried to coerce you or have all of this control over you to keep you as their source of stability, source of narcissistic supply. Whatever it was that you're providing or giving to them, they were needing that. They're like a parasite, I'm hearing, and they were draining all of your energy. But again, this is your stability. You manage your resources wisely. So this could have been someone who's very unwise with money. They're very poor with money, or they have so much of a lack mindset. That's why they were so greedy. But because of their lack mindset, they're always lacking. Whatever we believe we manifest. Whatever we believe we receive. So you are someone who's very abundant and very kind-hearted, very generous. They were taking advantage of your generosity. They may have been trying to guilt-trip you, emotional blackmail, trying to make you feel bad if you weren't providing for them, if you weren't basically being responsible for them. Whereas they're supposed to be a responsible adult where they take responsibility and accountability for themselves. But they weren't doing that. They totally expected you to provide all kinds of things. They had completely unrealistic expectations of you in all kinds of ways, including they just totally expected you to put up with their abuse, which is ridiculous. We also have the 10 of Cups. I'm surrounded by love and contentment. This is interesting because this is the 10 of Cups going beneath the 10 of Swords. So they totally thought that you are someone who was desperate and needing their validation, needing their approval. But this is some sort of thief trying to steal from the Emperor. But this thief was thinking that you, being the Emperor, would be seeking their validation, and it just doesn't make sense whatsoever. But this is how blinded by their own ego, by their own arrogance that they are. So again, this is like a quick recovery. To me, this is saying your true natural state is the Empress, the strength, stability, self-love. I am surrounded by love and contentment. You are deeply loved. I'm telling you, I see like people surrounding you. They're so glad to see you thriving. They're so glad to see how your enemy just completely exposed themselves. Everything backfired upon them because of your strength, because of your indestructible nature, because of your self-confidence and self-esteem. They tried to attack the wrong person. When it came to you, it was their downfall. You're surrounded by love, you create this love. You love yourself. So you draw in true love. I feel you drew in this situation with this enemy because it was meant to come in to reflect a lot of past wounds that you've experienced. A lot of betrayal, a lot of heartache, to purge you of the past, basically. And now you know in the present moment your worth. This person, they've completely made a fool out of themselves for totally not recognizing your worth or just totally taking that for granted. Yeah, look, justice again. This is your energies. You're so powerful. I make wise decisions. You're wise. They tried to pull the wool over your eyes with this deceptive energy of the 7 of Swords. Again, they may have initially fooled you, but you are deeply psychic, deeply intuitive. When I look at this Justice card, you are an authority. You have this spiritual authority about you. The Empress, the strength, justice, and they're so blinded they totally couldn't see this about you at all. They completely deceived themselves. This is what their ego, their arrogance does. They deceived themselves and they've tripped up majorly. It's all backfired upon them. They may have tried to do a smear campaign and say that you're someone who you're totally not. They tried to make out you're the opposite of who you really are. They may have tried to play the victim, but justice is coming your way and it is their complete exposure. This is you coming out of your shell or just your real self to be seen. They may have really helped you with this. This may also very much be why this situation came into your life. You may have had some childhood wounds or wounds from your past that were keeping you somewhat hiding away, not having complete self-belief. But nonetheless, you still deep down knew that you are this amazing person. But going through all of this with this person, what they put you through, it just really solidified in your conscious awareness how incredible, how strong, how resilient, how loving, generous you are. All of these positive qualities, they just made you realize so clearly that you are all of that. So this is why you are elevating so powerfully in confidence coming out of your shell. This is your justice. And they are being judged harshly. Well, not harshly. It's fair, but it's harsh. Karma, being exposed, losing everything. They thought they were gaining so much, but they gained nothing. They didn't learn anything from the situation. However, they may have taken a lot from you, but you bounce back. You have this, you create this abundance, attract this abundance back to you very quickly, very easily, because it's a reflection of your true nature. Plus, you are the one who actually took away so much from this experience because you have learned so much and become so incredibly confident within yourself, and people are seeing this. Here's another 10. I release burdens that do not serve me. You're unstoppable. This is going beneath the chariot. They tried to place so many burdens upon you. I'm telling you, they are someone who's very self-destructive. They can't look after themselves, so they wanted you to look after them. The nurturer, the empress, but this was creating, and they were purposely creating so many heavy burdens for you because they were trying to collapse you, weigh you down so much that you would collapse. Maybe you did collapse. Maybe you did hit rock bottom, but that was just you being the phoenix. That was the collapse of your old self. That was the collapse of you just putting up with things. That was the collapse of you not having strong boundaries. So it could make room for your rebirth of having strong boundaries, of doing what's right for you, of not feeling guilty or being guilted into overgiving to your own detriment. This was a death of your false self. Your old self, old negative and limiting beliefs, and the rebirth, the remembrance of who you really are, you embracing who you truly are and your worth, and knowing that you deserve the best. You certainly deserve so much more than what this person was putting you through. We have the 7 of Cups, and make choices with clarity. Yeah, they really tried to pull the wool over your eyes. They tried to deceive you. They tried to mirror you and make out that they were this kind, nurturing person, but their mask slipped too many times. So there was a time where there was 2 sides of you, your intuition that knew the truth, or you always knew the truth deep down, but then you could have been feeling bad, like this person was trying to make you feel bad, for you having that inner knowing that they're really toxic. You knew that, but then they were trying to gaslight you and make out like you're being a bad person for just seeing them for who they truly are. So that may have gone on for a while, but again, you're unstoppable. You're the Empress. You're all of these powerful energies. This is you being so much aligned with your infinite self, your infinite soul. We have the 5 of Cups. I learned from my losses. At telling you, you may have lost some things, but you've gained 10 times more in so many ways, and your abundance is returning in so many ways. You are awesome just the way you are. This person was trying to manipulate you, trying to make out like you weren't good enough or you weren't doing enough, you weren't providing enough. Complete BS, completely projecting themselves onto you and trying to guilt trip you. They could tell that you have such a big heart, that you're very kind and nurturing, and they could tell that initially that they could emotionally blackmail you and trigger up these childhood and past wounds. But you're awesome just the way you are. You've powerfully come to know this. And there are people surrounding you who think this enemy is a complete fool because they are knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you are awesome just the way you are. So you're really loving yourself for who you truly are, and that is what is really coming to the surface. You're expressing that a lot more. You are kind. Yeah, people are knowing this. This person may have tried to make out because they always project. They try and twist the narrative and make out you are who they are. The abuser, the selfish person, the person who's lacking any empathy or morals, that's them. But they were trying to make out that was you. But people know that you are kind. This person knows that you are kind. I mean, this is also one of the main reasons why they targeted you, because they could see you're so generous and so big-hearted that you were giving so much to them in so many ways. But their lack of kindness, the severity of their abuse, how much they were taking you for granted. I'm telling you, you see clearly, and you could see by the end of it all very clearly that you are amazing, you're awesome. You are kind, you are loving. I'm telling you, they just solidified in your mind, in your awareness, that you are actually this really, really amazing person. And this makes them absolutely furious because they were hoping for the total opposite, for you to have your self-esteem totally crushed. You make everyone smile. I'm telling you, I'm seeing energy surrounding you, like benevolent people, your supporters, people who genuinely love you, people who are wise and mature to really genuinely appreciate you and know who you really are and appreciate these amazing qualities that you have. You're making these people smile. They are glad to see this foolish enemy completely expose themselves as they're trying to come up against you and crush you, and they can't. All of their attempts are bouncing off of you. It's like ricocheting, boomeranging back to them, and it's their own downfall. You make everyone smile also because they love seeing you thriving. They love seeing you becoming more confident. They love seeing you loving yourself now more than ever before. And they're smiling because you're so kind-hearted, loving, and generous. You are still very much that same person with such a big heart, but you have much more discernment now to not give yourself away to those who are foolish, basically, and abusive. You can do anything you set your mind to. They're seeing you as a powerful manifester because you are so confident. You're unstoppable. You can achieve whatever you set out to achieve. And at the bottom of the deck we have your magnificence is beyond measure. So this is amazing. You really are like the phoenix rising from the ashes. People are so happy for you. Yeah, look beneath this. We have you are loved, and we had a card which said I'm surrounded by love and contentment. Your enemy is furious because you are content. You are stable, you're secure, stoic. They can't affect you. They can't affect you emotionally. They thought they had the power to do that. But they really don't. And it's such a huge ego blow, a narcissistic blow to this person. So they treated you as the empress like garbage. But you've really shocked them. You've really floored them as you're coming out of your shell, and everyone's seeing your true self as this awesome, magnificent person with so much strength, so much wisdom, clarity, and resilience. So if you've appreciated this reading, please consider buying me a hot chocolate by leaving a super thanks comment below. All donations are humbly appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's already donated and sent a super thanks in the comments. It really does mean a lot to me. If this reading has resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. That all really helps me out with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me here. Take care. Bye.